Whether you see Mitsuri with braids or Jotaro with a big fluffy afro, you would notice that in the new age of the cosplay community, there's a lot more cosplayers who are cosplaying with their natural hairstyles. When I say cosplayers and when I say natural hairstyles, I'm focusing on black people. Whether it's a black hairstyle like afros, locks, braids, or someone incorporating their actual hair into the cosplay, we're seeing a lot more diversity when it comes to the wigs and the hair that people are using in cosplay. And as that diversity continues to boom, people are questioning why. Why wouldn't you just buy the regular wig? Like, why not? Let's be for real. It's much cheaper for me to buy the character wig on Amazon or AliExpress compared to buying all the materials and creating the wig myself, or even just buying an afro wig for a character. But let's be honest, that's a little boring. So, my first chapter, the first part of this video, is going to be discussing why do black cosplayers choose to cosplay with their natural hair? I brought forth three main reasons why black cosplayers choose to do curly cosplays, which is what we call it. And the first reason would to be to showcase your own identity while still putting on a costume of someone else. I love to cosplay and I love to pretend that I'm someone else, but I still want to showcase parts of myself within that costume. It could be a little bit of a different sense, whether that's adding a bunch of fiber arts, including knitting or crocheting, into the cosplays that I'm building to show a little bit of my passion for those types of projects. Adding pink to all of my costumes because pink is my favorite color and I want to express that, or parts of my cultural or racial identity. I love wearing afro wigs, and if you've ever seen me cosplay in a competition, you will notice that every single competition I'm in, the character is going to have some type of curl or wig that's locked or braided. Right now, I'm currently working on my Marie Rose cosplay for the CSC cosplay competition, and when I did the wig, there was no idea of not adding a little bit of afro-ness to it. I want to share my diversity, my diverse identity within my cosplays. I know there's a lot of people who strive for accuracy, and there are plenty of black cosplayers who strive for accuracy, but accuracy is not fully what I'm going for at this point. Right now, I really just want to showcase myself within my costumes because it's my costumes. It's my cosplay, and I'm going to show myself within those. Number two is to create your own representation in a space where you can't really find it all the time. Let's be honest, a lot, not all, but a lot of cosplayers, especially the cosplayers in the community that I'm adjacent to, cosplay from anime and video games. And occasionally comic books and occasionally Star Wars, so we're going to talk about those communities as well. But let's talk. Think of the black characters in these movies or TV shows or projects or pieces of media. You have them, right? Now think of how many of them use natural hairstyles. Right now, when I'm thinking about anime, I'm thinking about a lot of black anime characters. And while there are characters who have natural hairstyles, let's be honest, a lot of them don't. A lot of them have the stereotypical pin straight hair or straight hair or whatever. The ones who typically do honestly have natural hairstyles are men. I don't like cosplaying men. I think I've done it maybe once, and it was a gender bend version. So I don't like cosplaying men. But if I'm looking at the femme presenting black characters, there's few and far between for representation of natural hairstyles. And there's definitely going to be a bitch that's really like, actually, this character has a natural hairstyle. Actually, in this piece of media that's existed for 3,000 years, there's four characters out of the 4 billion characters that wear natural hairstyles. I'm not stupid. I know that there's characters who have natural hairstyles all across the pieces of media that I like to consume, but sometimes I don't want to cosplay them. Sometimes I find a cute anime girl with straight hair and decide, bam, you have an afro now. Create my own form of representation. Is it really harming someone if I choose to wear a wig that's a little kinky if I want to show off representation to someone else? If I want to share my form of representation on social media or at a convention? I think not. My third and final reason is to share the uniqueness and show off your own uniqueness within your cosplays. Let's be honest. If we are going to a convention and there are 20 other people who are cosplaying Sasuke from Naruto, you're not really gonna stand out. And not saying that like if you go to a cosplay convention, you need to have all the attention on you and you need to stand out. That's not the case. But some people do want to stand out. And what's a better way to stand out other than, making Sasuke have a cool side sweeping locks or have a big afro or give him waves or whatever? There's, again, there's going to be bitches who are like, actually, there's other ways to stand out. I don't care. A nice way to stand out is your wigs. You notice that a lot of people at conventions have these huge helmet wigs as well. So, using your wigs or your hair to stand out and show your uniqueness of your cosplay, to stand out of a sea of cosplayers who are cosplaying the exact same way, going for screen accuracy, is a large reason why a lot of cosplayers choose to, cosplay with their natural hair. And I'm not the only cosplayer who cosplays with my natural hair. Let's be so honest. There are thousands and thousands online. So I just talked to two cosplayers and I wanted to hear a little bit of their opinion or their personal testimonies as to why they cosplay, with their natural hair. Our first lovely personal statement comes from the cosplayer Honey T Cos across various social medias, who is known for cosplaying from a lot of the Hoyoverse video games. Your Genshin Impacts, your Honkai Star Rails, your Zenless Zone Zeros, and more, obviously. Honey T Cos says, I have a long journey of accepting me for me. Living in a predominantly white area, I was often ridiculed for my race and skin color. My mom, at 5, like many other children, chemically relaxed my hair so it was easier and that I fit in better. It wasn't until college at 18 that I did the big chop and went natural. It's grown and grown. I'm 25 now, still natural. I don't like seeing myself with straight hair. Reminds me of the insecure little girl I used to be. Learning about myself, my heritage, and showing my hair in my cosplay, I wouldn't have it any other way. Knowing that their relationship between cosplaying and their own identity is so intertwined and it's not really a way that you can separate it, that their natural hair is fully a part of them, so why would they strip their natural hair and the history and the culture behind their natural hair for a cosplay that you can all put on and take off? If they're going to put on this cosplay, might as well make it themselves. The next personal statement is going to come from Honey Butter Cause, who is a competition cosplayer who makes the most wonderful competition builds. They say, why I cosplay with my natural hairstyle is mainly to connect with my natural hair, learn to love it, and represent on stage as a competitive cosplayer. Especially in my area where it is heavily white dominated, for me, it's reclaiming something that I've been ashamed of or othered my entire life. And it's such an amazing feeling when other blurs appreciate it and seeing their face light up when I walk by or just comment how I've inspired people to jump into this hobby that they've been scared to try. I think it's important mainly for representation, especially in the competition world. Seeing people like you do this hobby on and off stage with their natural hair and styles is such a positive impact and inspiring more and more blurs and cosplayers to compete despite the challenges we face. A little example, after my first competition in Daisy, I was stopped by a lovely black child and their parent, who I learned was also getting into competitions like me. They asked me how I made my wig because they wanted to start off and start getting into building afro wigs and such. They had no idea where to start. So I pulled out my build book and explained and was beyond happy to explain, just to see another black person in the heart of the convention interested in curly wigs. It was quite a while before we ended up competing together at another con. And at this time, they were wearing an afro wig they made themselves, and they won an award that night for best wig. For the cosplay community that is more niche than just cosplay in general, which is an already niche subject, is the competition scene. As well, I'm a competition cosplayer. If you've seen my YouTube videos or if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I take pride in my competition builds and how much I put effort into them. And just like Honey Butter is saying, you don't really see many competitors with afro wigs. I think at most no, almost every single convention I've only participated in 3 competitions, but in those 3 competitions, I have not seen any other cosplayer who has used an afro wig the same way that I use an afro wig. So I kind of stand out in the crowd, if that makes sense. And I've never won an award for best wig because let's be for real, my wigs are low key shit. It's nice to see that there are blurs or black cosplayers or black nerds all across the world who are sharing in this hobby with me. Not only competition cosplayers, but competition cosplayers who choose to wear afro wigs. If you're going to cosplay using an afro wig and you decide to do something against canon, it may be a little bit difficult to, figure out how to choose which wig or which hairstyle to use for that character. So we're going into our next step, how to pick the right hairstyle for the character. So, how do you choose a good hairstyle for the character that you're cosplaying when you choose to do something that is out of bounds, when you choose to do something that includes your natural hairstyle? The first thing that I like to do is to take a look at the character style. Because you're making a cosplay, you've already have a base for what your inspiration is going to be on. So look at the character's original hairstyle and see what you can do or what you can match to make that hairstyle work together. For example, let's look at the tried, pride and true Sailor Moon. She has two big space buns at the top of her head as well as long strips of hair. So it would kind of make sense that you turn those big puffs into afro puffs, maybe. Another example that I have is a character who's a little bit more shaggy with their hairstyle. Let's say Inuyasha, who has more free flowing hair that just blows in the wind, goes straight down to his back, and is super long. In my opinion, I think that locks would do really well for converting his hairstyle over into a black hairstyle. It's You can grow locks to be quite long, they're quite heavy, so they drag down compared to styling upwards, as well as you're able to manipulate it a little bit more to make those spiky things. I don't know what anime designers were doing, but My second tip is to analyze the character's personality. Different people wear different hairstyles for different reasons. Some people have a more tight and tied up hairstyle because they're more reserved in their personality. Some people are a little less reserved. Some people are more outgoing and more fiery. So they'll have more let go hairstyle, more loose hairstyle where the hair's just blowing in the wind. Some people are super flashy, so they like to add bangles and beads and pearls in the hair. Some people are more timid and modest, so they might just have a simple side braid, You can always analyze a character's personality and attribute a different hairstyle to that personality. For example, look at Zora from Kingdom Hearts. He is number one, a young boy, and number two, he's very full of energy. He's full of life. So, in my opinion, I think he'd either have a bigger afro, especially the afros that you see younger kids having, if that makes sense. Like the little boy afro with the little shaves at the side. Or even if he was older, a more free forming afro, free forming wicks, even to show his more free form personality. Someone like Mitsuri. While Mitsuri is not necessarily very alternative, she's very outgoing, which falls a lot into different alternative subcultures. She's out there with her personality, so why not give her an out there hairstyle? With, I believe they're called jade braids, but the fancy braids that a lot of alternative girlies have been getting that I'm really jealous of. I want to get those types of braids. But you see, like, it can mix up her hair color as well as add a bunch of different details because she's a cutesy little girl. Like, what else can I say? It matches perfectly with her. My next step is a little bit more of like a cautionary tale, but it's to be mindful of the cosplay costume that you're wearing. Let's say you're wanting to wear this big, super big afro wig, right? And you're wearing a cosplay that has metal spikes all over it. Let's be so honest, afro wigs tend to get tangled very easily. And they're not as easy as to detangle compared to other types of wigs just because of the afro and kinky texture that they have. And it's not like it's real hair where you can just add a little bit of mousse and then it's back to no. Sadly, wigs don't grow back like that. So be mindful. You can't be really wearing a big afro wig if the cosplay has a bunch of spikes on it. You can be wearing a very heavy braided wig if you're already wearing a very heavy armor costume. It's sucky, but you know, that's how it is. It sucks. Please be mindful of the cosplay you're wearing and the wig that you're planning on wearing. The last but most important step is to look at yourself and look within yourself when choosing what hairstyle to wear. Let's say you hate the feeling of braids. You hate the feeling of braids on your back. You don't like the way you look in braids. You don't like the way anything to do with braids. Don't wear braids. Revolutionary idea, I know, but I just want to share it because there has been multiple times my Nero costume. I hate the way I look with long cornrowed braids back. But I decided that's what fit his character best, and that's what fit within the materials that I had in my house, and that's what I'm gonna make. I hate the Nero. I never wore Nero again. Every other cosplay that I wear for a competition, I tend to rewear, but Nero is just not one of them. Just because I hate the way the wig looks. I probably should redo that wig, maybe. But just take a look within yourself and make sure that you're gonna get the most use out of this cosplay. Now that you have just a general idea as to why people cosplay with afro or kinky or natural hairstyles, and you have a little bit of an idea what wigs to use, I want to share where to get the inspiration for these wigs. My first inspiration that I get a lot of the time is from creators. I love watching TikToks, I love watching Instagram reels, I love watching YouTube videos of other black cosplayers all around. Have you guys ever seen like those cosplay music videos? Anytime there's a black cosplayer wearing a wig, I go, "Hey, you! I'm taking that idea." And some of my favorite cosplayers that I like to use are Snickerdoodle Chan, Summer Drew, Shellanin, Honey Butter Cause, Sailor Grail, and Honey Tea Cause. And another place where you can go is artists. Artists who blackwashing quotations, a lot of quotations in blackwash, many different quotations when I say the word blackwash, many different quotation marks when I say the word blackwash. Characters tend to draw them with natural hairstyles as well. Some artists that I do take inspiration from, or that you can, some artists that you can take inspiration from are Ironic Knock Savage, Naru X Blade, or K Bum 5 underscore. Inspiration is also everywhere. Go to the black beauty shop and look at the wigs on the counter and be like, that can work for this character. That can work for this character. Go to the beauty shop and look at the connect long hair and see what color works for which character that you're working with. And yeah, to be so honest, black cosplayers, you know what I'm talking about when I say being a black cosplayer is not easy. Being a black cosplayer is hard. It feels like a lot of things are not made for you. Whether you buy a cosplay costume that has skin tight or skin colored, flesh colored mesh on it, and that mesh turns out to be 50 shades lighter than you are, or racism within the cosplay community online and in person. But something that I like about being a black cosplayer is just showing off myself, showing off my identity, showing off my heritage within my cosplays, which is why, yes, I will wear straight wigs. I will wear character accurate wigs simply if I just want to, or if it's the cheaper option or the most convenient option at that point. But if I make that competition build, I'm using an afro wig. If I can get a simple, cute girl cosplay and give them an afro wig, I'm giving them that afro wig. I love my hair. I'm saying this while I'm wearing a synthetic wig, but I love my hair. And, you know, I like my hair in cosplay. I like showing off my hair in cosplay. And what else can I really say about that? I don't know where to go from here. That was really sad. Let's get to the end. I want to say thank you so much for joining me on this video. If you want to see my content, some daily content, I post on YouTube Shorts daily. So I guess subscribe to here, I post on Instagram, not so much TikTok. I post a little bit of shit posting on Twitter if you want to follow me there as well. I have a Ko-Fi where you can get exclusive cosplay sets, which is here. It'll also be linked down below. I'm I don't know what to say. If you want to really keep up with me, the best place to do it is on Instagram. But if you enjoyed this video and want to see more, like, subscribe. And if you cosplay with afro wigs, tell me about your experience making them. Or if you think that a certain character would look good with a black hairstyle, please tell me which character and which hairstyle. I don't know how to end this, so goodbye. Mwah!